You ever hear something from your child that just hits you right in the gut? Like they've peeled back a layer of who you are and just dismissed it without even realizing what it meant? If you're over 60, maybe you felt that sudden sting, like your years of love and sacrifice were just brushed aside. You sit there thinking, did they really just say that? And maybe in that moment, you didn't speak up. You froze. You let it slide. But inside, something shifted. I'm here to tell you, if your children say any of these 7 phrases, it's not just a red flag. It's a big, blaring siren telling you to walk away, protect your peace, and draw a line. You deserve better, and by the end of this video, you'll see why. In today's video, I'll break down the 7 toxic phrases adult children say that can quietly destroy the spirit of their aging parents, and why protecting your emotional health matters more now than ever. Stick around, because knowing how to respond to these phrases may just change the rest of your life. If this already feels like something you've needed to hear, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support really helps us keep putting out honest, empowering content just like this. Now here's what you'll take away from today's video. You'll learn how to recognize emotional manipulation disguised as casual conversation, how to preserve your self-respect even if your family doesn't, and most importantly, how to stop tolerating hurtful words that chip away at your dignity. Because your peace is not negotiable. Let's dive in and really talk. You know, the first one is so subtle, it almost sounds innocent. When your child says, "You wouldn't understand, things are different now." It sounds like they're just referring to generational changes, right? But listen closer. What they're really saying is your wisdom doesn't matter, that your life experience is outdated, that somehow your years of surviving, thriving, building a family, working jobs, and navigating the ups and downs of life count for less just because the world has changed. And here's the truth. Yes, the world has changed, but the core of being human hasn't. Respect, compassion, patience, those haven't changed. When someone tells you that you wouldn't understand, they're dismissing your ability to relate. They're closing the door on connection. And when that comes from your own child, it's not just hurtful, it's deeply disrespectful. That's not a conversation anymore. That's a shutdown. And in that moment, you need to choose peace over proximity. Walk away, not out of spite, but out of strength. Then there's the one that stings even more. You already lived your life. It's a phrase so cutting, so cruel, yet some parents hear it when they express a dream, a plan, even something simple like going on a trip or trying something new. It's as if your life now is just a waiting room for the end, and that any desire you have should be packed away to make room for theirs. Let me tell you something right now. You are not a leftover. You're not a closed book. You're not finished. You're still here, still breathing, still feeling, still worthy of joy. Any child who speaks to you like your time is up is showing you that they don't see your full humanity anymore. And that is heartbreaking. But you can't fix what someone refuses to see. You can only protect yourself from it. And that means stepping away when they try to define your worth based on your age. Another one that sounds like advice, but is really control in disguise. You need to stop being so sensitive. That one cuts deep, because what it really does is invalidate your emotions. It tells you your feelings are too much, too inconvenient, too uncomfortable for them to deal with. And you start to question yourself. Was I overreacting? No, you weren't. You were reacting like any human would to a lack of kindness. Sensitivity is not weakness. It's awareness. It's empathy. It's proof that your heart is still open. And if someone can't meet you with respect when you express hurt, that's not on you. That's a sign they don't know how to love you where you are now. And maybe they don't want to. So when you hear that phrase, remind yourself, your sensitivity is a strength. You're allowed to have boundaries. You're allowed to expect better. You're allowed to walk away from people who won't honor your feelings. Now here's a chilling one that's become way too common in families. You're lucky we even visit. That's not gratitude. That's emotional blackmail. That's your own child trying to make you feel like love is a chore, like their presence is a favor you should be endlessly grateful for. Love should never feel like a loan you're paying interest on. It should feel free, given without guilt or strings. If your child shows up in your life and then dangles their presence like it's a trophy, you need to understand this. Real connection doesn't come with guilt attached. The moment someone makes you feel like a burden for simply existing in their life, it's time to release them from the obligation. And more importantly, release yourself from the guilt. You've earned the right to be surrounded by people who want to be with you, not people who keep score. You're just being dramatic. That one shuts you down fast. It says that your worries, your needs, your fears are all exaggerations. And suddenly you feel small, embarrassed, ashamed for even opening your mouth. But here's the truth. People say this when they don't want to take responsibility for how they make you feel. It's easier to call you dramatic than to look in the mirror. But your feelings are valid. Your voice matters. And your ability to speak up for yourself is not a weakness. It's a sign that you still value yourself, even when others don't. Don't let anyone dim your light just because it shines a little too brightly on their behavior. If they call it drama, let them. That's their projection, not your problem. Then comes the financial guilt trip. We can't afford to help you. Now, let's be clear. If your kids are genuinely struggling, that's one thing. But often, this phrase is used to shut down conversations about your basic needs, or worse, to deflect responsibility they once promised to take. And yet, the same children might afford vacations, new gadgets, expensive lifestyle choices. It's not about money. It's about priorities. If your well-being isn't a priority, that says everything. And you shouldn't have to beg to be cared for or defend your right to basic dignity. It's okay to step back. It's okay to say, I see where I stand, and adjust your expectations accordingly. Because begging for love or help never leads to peace. It just drains your spirit. The final one is perhaps the most painful. You're the reason our family is like this. That one lays the entire weight of family dysfunction on your shoulders. It's the ultimate blame game. It wipes out every good thing you ever did, every sacrifice, every night you stayed awake worrying, every meal you made, every birthday you remembered. And it rewrites history into a story where you're the villain. That's not fair. That's not true. And it's not your burden to carry. Families are complicated, and everyone plays a role. But blaming everything on one person, especially the elder who held it all together for years, that's emotional cruelty. And when that cruelty comes from your own children, you need to protect yourself, even if it hurts, even if it means walking away from the hope that someday they'll change. Because peace starts when you stop letting others write your story in shame and start reclaiming it in truth. You see, aging isn't the loss of power, it's the gathering of it. It's the moment when you finally stop chasing approval, when you stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, when you realize that your time, your presence, your energy are sacred and should only be given to those who honor them. If your children speak to you in these ways and show no willingness to understand the pain they cause, it's okay to walk away. Not forever, not in anger, but in self-respect, to give them the space to grow, to give yourself the peace you've more than earned. Your life is not behind you, it's still unfolding. And how you live now, who you let near your heart, who you allow in your space, that all matters more than ever. You don't owe your peace to anyone, but you do owe it to yourself to protect it. So if any of these phrases have come out of your child's mouth and you've stayed silent, I hope today gives you the courage to finally speak up or step away. Because you're not alone. You're not overreacting. You're not being dramatic. You're just finally choosing to be seen. And that's not just powerful, it's beautiful.